What's going on, Unemployable? It is SJ here, and I've got Brian with me, and I'm so excited to have you, and thank you so much for doing this. As always, I love picking people's brains when I see people inside Facebook groups and things are popping off, and I just love to get you on one of these calls to, to pick your brain. What's going on? How did you do it? There's so many questions that I always have, but first of all, I want to thank you for doing this. So glad to have you. And why don't we start by, can you let us know what your business is all about, what you do?
Absolutely. So my name is Brian Iregbu. I'm a real estate investor, entrepreneur. And what I've been doing is I've been, helping other investors or aspiring investors to invest in real estate with limited to no resources. So that's kind of like my niche. You always hear the no money down real estate. It sounds scammy, but it's legit and true. We help so many families, help so many sellers. And now, I've been actually educating others to do the same.
How did you get into this?
Well, actually, I was a high school teacher for 4 years, and I think I was making like $47,000 a year. And I was like, if I could just make some more money. And then I got a job in oil and gas. It was a six-figure job. But the thing was, when I started making like six figures, I noticed that I was working all the time, so many hours to get that. And it was shift work. So sometimes I'm working all night. So I just started getting on YouTube and start finding, like, it might sound shallow, but how to make more money.
Yeah.
and I kept coming across real estate every single time. I might go down a rabbit hole with, some other, internet schemes, but it just seems like everyone that I can see that was being real. And I was like, yeah, this isn't fake. This is real. It always had something to do with real estate. So I was like, let me try real estate.
How long ago is this?
5 years ago.
Okay. So just to kind of give everyone some context, Brian's inside the Build Your Empire program. And the reason why we're on this chat is because he had a $60,000 launch with a $997 program. Is that right?
Correct.
And no ad spend. So this is
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, not a dollar.
Not a dollar in ad spend. So I'm going to pick your brain on exactly what happened there. But this is 5 years after discovering that you wanted to get into real estate. 5 years later, you have this crazy launch teaching people how to do what you'd learned over the last 5 years. So when did you start coaching this?
Okay, so I never really started coaching, Steph, but officially,
Or teaching.
What happened was like a year and a half ago, I started sharing what I was doing to the public.
Love it.
For instance, people probably know you as SJ, just personal friends, but then, you have this other group of people that you introduce them into how you do your online marketing and everything. So I was just regular friends to all of my people that was following me, but I was always investing in real estate on the side, and I was thinking they don't care for me to share this. Like, that's boring. If I put it on my timeline, I'm probably gonna get 2 likes. They care about, me. Yeah. And that's how it was. And when I started sharing what I was doing, exactly, I guess it was like, man, when he's talking about real estate, Brian's talking about real estate now. So when I first started, I would just get a few likes, nobody would comment.
And this is a year and a half ago.
It's a year and a half ago.
So this is so awesome because this blew up really fast. So tell us what happened. You start putting your stuff up there.
So as I started sharing, I started to attract the people that cared about real estate or cared what I was doing. And all of a sudden just started to grow.
I have questions.
Okay.
So are you sharing this on your personal profiles? Okay, so
it's so weird, SJ. Hey, it's so weird, SJ. Right now.
Tell me.
Right now, if I post something real estate related on my Facebook, which I maxed out on another computer right now, I'm trying to delete.
I know.
I can accept the people that have came into my interest in a year and a half and they want to connect with me real estate related. Because I got 5,000 people and most of them, I probably don't even know they don't care about real estate.
That was at the time when it was cool to grow your Facebook friends and you just invite everybody. I know.
Add. So if I was to post something on Facebook right now with all those friends, I would probably get maybe like 30 likes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not active and I didn't. So after a while, I really just stopped sharing everything on Facebook.
So where were you sharing it?
Instagram is where I live. Instagram is where I share, I'm very, very active on Instagram. And so I would just share it on Instagram, and I would get more and more questions, more and more people inspired. And then I ran
How
into,
did you attract those people on Instagram?
by giving value, just telling people what I do, tell them how they could do it, maybe give them a tip, a way, a strategy, you know.
Are you using hashtags? Like, what are you doing to grow the audience?
I do use hashtags, but I wouldn't think that they're the, that's what's doing the magic. I think it's really just helping people and sharing, because I noticed on things like IG, it's kind of like where you flex. Everybody want to show you what they got and show off, right? And paint this perfect picture, right? But no one want to show you how they got it. So it's really like a brag thing. Everybody want to show you their new car, their new house, their new Rolex, right? But no one is actually, there's very few people that's actually sharing like, hey, this is how I got it, without kind of having some type of sales pitch connected to it. So I was just kind of like, giving value, giving content.
And then you think it was by word of mouth, like people were saying, hey, check this guy out. And then it was, got it.
Absolutely.
Love
Yeah,
it.
so one person would tell the other, and then just the page just started growing, the Instagram page.
So, my audience are, usually newer entrepreneurs who are breaking out online. We've got definitely lots of people where you are at, where you've had the big launches and you figured some things out. So what you're saying in terms of, your success in terms of the leads and filling up a webinar and getting this big launch was from Instagram. And the advice is to lead with value. Now, a lot of people have this thing in the back of their mind where, is it too much value, or people should be paying me for this stuff? And I always say, like, give your best stuff away for free. And that's really what you've been doing to grow this in such a short amount of time.
Right.
So
then I came across you, and because I started to notice that people were making a killing online, and I was like, and even people in my close circle of influence was making a lot of money. I'm like, man, that's fast. This internet money is fast. So I was like,
this internet money is fast.
It's really fast.
I know.
So over, that year and a half, I had people offer me money, like, hey, how much would you pay to coach me? Or, hey, do you have any courses available? I'm like, no. Do you coach? Do you do mentoring? Hey, I will fly to Texas just to spend. I've gotten that countless times. Can I fly to Texas just to shadow you for a day? And the whole time I was working full time. So mind you, I just quit my job, that 6-figure job, 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And went full time in real estate. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's big.
So all that time, I was turning people down. I didn't have anything packaged. I was like, well, you could go to my YouTube channel, or, hey, what question can I help you with?
Yeah. So you were just you were building an audience by providing all this value, and you didn't really have anything to sell.
Exactly. Because I wasn't trying to sell. Yeah. I never was trying to sell. I didn't have anything to sell. I was just like, hey, man, I'm making a lot of money in real estate. This is how you can do it too.
You're doing it yourself. That's amazing. I mean, that's a very organic way, because a lot of people, they start putting out content because they have something to sell, and that sabotages everything, because it's exactly what you were saying. It's very salesy. It's look at me, and you were coming from a place of giving and adding value, and that's what really attracted this audience. That's awesome. How did you find me?
On Instagram, an Instagram ad. Okay. And it's funny because I was having this like mental kind of like battle or war, because I was thinking like, all right, when am I qualified to sell something? And when am I qualified? Should I already be making $1 million a year in real estate to sell something? It's like we put these on, our own filters on it. And I was just going through this so long. I was like, well, how many deals should I be doing a month before I try to sell something? Or do I need to have, I don't know, do I need to have $1 million cash to sell? It's weird, So that's what I was going through. And I was like, then I came across you, and sometimes I would think like, maybe I need to grow my following even more. I came across you, and you were basically on the ad. It was saying, look, this is the old school way of doing things. You don't even need to have this huge following or build this at first. Focus on. It was like doing it the reverse way around. Basically lead magnet. Value, nurture. And instead of like straight sell. And I was like, wow, cool. Well, I could do that. And I already have a following already. So maybe it'll work even better for me.
Yes.
And
So,
I dragged my feet for like over like a year.
so okay, so let's talk about that. You jumped into the program when you saw the ad.
I jumped in the program immediately when I watched the webinar and seen the ad. I was
Okay,
like,
so
she
you're
knows
building
what
the
I'm
thing.
talking about.
You're building this audience. You're gaining traction in terms of following. You're in your head about, okay, how do I monetize? Is it the right time?
Yeah.
Stephanie Joanne's aggressive ads, one of them show up on your news feed, and you check it out, you jump on the webinar, and you jump into the Build Your Empire program.
Right.
Then you do not much. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
So I get in the program, I'm like, wow, because I'm pretty good at like sniffing out, like, like BS, kind of like, I was just like, yeah, she's real deal. She knows what she's talking about. Let me check it out. I got in and I was like, wow, like this isn't skimpy at all. Like everything about everything you need to know is in here. And I was like, man, it's the best program ever. So, I started doing a little something, I watched module, like the first and the second, and then I would go back and do the first and the second, and the first, second, third, and go back to the first. I was just really tripping on myself, and then I would just not do anything with that because I have my real estate business and I'm still focusing on giving value, even though, you kind of teach that's not what you're trying to do. It's kind of a long way. I still was kind of being stubborn and just still like, you know what? I'm going to fix this, what you call it, the funnel. I'm going to put it together eventually. Yeah. But in the meantime, let me continue to grow my audience and everything. And
so
then
when did things change?
It got to the point where those close friends I was telling you, like they was making too much money. They would, they would show me screenshots.
Yeah.
And they would tell me like, they would say, bro, you stupid. Like, why are you not selling anything? Like people have been asking you forever. And then I got to the point where I started to feel different. Not like, okay, is it okay for me to sell? I started to feel like I was doing a disservice because so many people were asking and begging me to sell something or give them more, and I didn't. And those same people would go and pay like a guru like $30,000, and then they'll say like I didn't get much. I got hit with those big seminars, and they didn't give me anything. Then I paid $20,000. I was like $20,000. So basically, I would have saved you.
So then you
saved you. Yeah. So I felt like it was my duty now.
Yes. So then you put together a course.
I put together a course. Yeah.
And it's it teaches real estate investing without having how to invest in real estate without having capital to start.
Exactly. How to flip houses and also buy and hold, like actually acquire real estate with little to no money down.
That's awesome. So you put it together. It's a video course, I'm assuming.
So yeah, so it's live right now. So I'm on module 6. So this is the last week, and then Sunday I'm gonna upload everything for that week because I got stuck in that phase too. One of my good friends, he was like, "Man, like you're taking too long to put this together," and he said, "Why don't you
sell it live? Good for you."
Yeah, and it says it in your course, like that's an option.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, I love that. So just for anyone who's watching, this is something that for those of you who maybe procrastinate, or there's nothing that's going to put a fire under your butt more than selling something that you have yet to create. So if you've been stalling on putting your stuff out there or doing something, launch it, have the outline figured out, know what the index or the breakdown of your program is going to be, and then sell it and deliver it live. When I did the Build Your Empire program, which is my signature program now, at the very beginning, it was delivered live, and I was creating the content as I went. So if Monday was the lesson for the week, Sundays were like, I was dying, but I had to finish it because I had the lesson on the Monday. So, and then all the slides are done, all the training is done, all the workbooks are done. And then over time, I did it live again to flush out the kinks. And that's when the second time I did it live, I didn't make references to you're in week 6, or I changed the language to modules so that I could package it and record it. So I would have a little chat with everyone. And then when I hit record, I just skipped any language of this thing is live, cut the videos. And then that was my first round of the Build Your Empire program, so I could sell it evergreen.
So that's what happened. And I did it live. And the switch I told you is that I had friends that's, you know, in their own, you know, industries, you know, they'll show me a screenshot and they're like, oh, their PayPal say I made 40,000 last month. I said, what? Off of what? And it'd be something crazy that's not even as, you know, valuable. It's like, hey, some scripts, you know, like some, like some, really?
So this last launch that you did 6 weeks ago, was that your first launch?
Yeah, I never. The only thing else I did, SJ, that I have been doing for about 6 months. I did it for about 2 months, and then I stopped for like 8 months because it was overwhelming with work. I started doing one-on-one consultation calls.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is, I mean, you're at the place, you had a $60,000 first launch.
Yeah, it happened. So I don't know, like in the internet marketing world, what is considered the launch period? Because what I did was I did a webinar and I had a PayPal account. It was a brand new account that I set up that had like $4 in it. And by the time I got off the webinar, it had $55,000 in it, like an hour and a half later. And then 2 days later, because I let the replay play, yes. 2 days later, it had 65,000. And then I took the link down and I didn't want any more because it was live and I didn't want too many people I can handle. And I haven't posted the link since then. You know, people are just
oh my gosh, I am so excited for you because this is only gonna blow up from here. So let's just talk strategy for a second. So you were running this course and really enrollment was open anytime the link was available. So I would assume it's live on the webinar to the minute you pulled it down. So that's like 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, I didn't have it up on 3 days.
Send your buddies a screenshot that you made 65K in 3 days.
I did.
You're like, oh, you made 20K in a month? I did that in a day.
I did. It was great.
You made 40K in that one day on the webinar. That's incredible. Congratulations on that.
It was 55, and then the next 10,000 trickled in over the next 2 days.
So imagine what would have happened if you didn't have a cap on your webinar, right? Because your webinar cap, which is actually a good thing.
I screwed myself, yeah, because when I went to do the webinar, Jim, it's all foreign and brand new to me. I was like, it asked if I wanted to upgrade it to hold more people. I think like 1,000 to 3,000 people. And I was like, $400. It was something crazy. And I was like, I don't even know if anybody's going to buy this. That's crazy. So I just
spending $400.
Yeah, crazy. So
that $400 would have been the best ROI you could have imagined, but that's good. So, I mean, this is huge. And I mean, now it's all about what are you going to do so that you don't have a cap on, well, one, your registration, you're going to spend the $400 again, but so that you can take on, you know, more than, 60 people that are in your program?
So this is crazy. I actually had 2 payment plans. So it's like 80 people.
It's 80 people in your program. Oh my God.
So I had 2 pay. I had one time $997 or 6 payments of $197. But okay. the majority did the pay in full.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
Like 20 something people did the
payment plan. Yeah. So when are you launching again?
I know, right? I don't know, SJ. Because I'm finishing this module 6, and I just want to make sure that I have, because I'm doing it live. And people are enjoying. I'm just trying to figure out, what else needs to be put in. Maybe to beef it up to make sure that they're all taken care of. And I know that's another personal thing. Making sure that these people really get.
The reason why your stuff is working is because you were so hard on yourself to know and to feel that you were qualified to teach what it is you're teaching in the first place. And now that you have success, now that you have 80 people in a program on your first launch, now you are being so hard on yourself with the quality of your content. And that's why, that's why I know this is going to blow up. That's why I know this is the best thing ever. And that's why this works, because your mind and your heart and your intention is in the right place. And it's, I hope that you, 1, recognize that, and 2, give yourself permission to blow this thing up, because clearly people need this content. Clearly there's nothing else out there like it, because you've had those conversations with people. I'm so excited for where this is going to go. And I hope that you launch this again as soon as it's 8 weeks long, I'm assuming?
6.
So you're at the end. Okay. So I hope you launch it again in 2 weeks and start another group and make all the improvements of, what had to happen from the first one. And then I hope you turn this thing evergreen. That for you would be your next step at this price point.
I'm excited. That's exactly what I want to do. I just, want to make sure that I have all those systems in place and everything is just, it's right inside of there.
Oh my gosh, I want to book another call with you when we're not live so that I can help you with this, because I've got someone in front of me who's crushing it, right? Who does 65K on a first launch? Like that's not normal in the internet world. Okay. So
really, I didn't know. I really didn't know.
Not normal. You're crushing it. And there's, this is one of these things where, there's no doubt that this is going to be a 7-figure thing, in a year from now, if you get the systems in place and if you're smart with the strategy. So it's, I definitely want to connect with you after so I can help you out. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, for anyone who is watching where they're listening and they're like everyone wants to know how. And I know that you work on personal development too, and that's a thing for you. And it's so humbling to see and to hear you, kind of confess that you're in your own head and you've got mindset things. And I have those too. And people don't see that. They're like, this guy just crushed it. So what is it that goes through your mind in terms of like the mindset blocks that you have, and how do you cope and how do you deal?
I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, It's funny because I was talking to one of my frat brothers. He's an entrepreneur. He does very well, one of the top businesses in Dallas. And I was telling him how I was feeling, and he said, I guess he reads a lot too. And he said, man, I know what you're talking about. They call it imposter syndrome. Yeah. He said, well, you really feel like, you're not what everybody thinks you are. And, sometimes you feel like that, and when really, and you're really doing everything you say you're doing, and you really are official, but you always kind of have these, because I don't know. So it's one of those things where that's one of the battles that I have the most. People always trying to put you here, and you're like, whoa, yeah. I'm like you go to these events and everybody approaches you like you're some celebrity. You're like, calm down. Right. I'm a regular guy, So that always kind of, messes with me a little bit, because I never really wanted to be like the famous guy,
Yeah.
I just always wanted to be impactful and inspirational. I never wanted to be like, I'm here, y'all are here. I don't like that.
Something that helps me.
That messes with me a lot.
I think that messes with, a lot of people, and I would be lying if I said that it doesn't mess with me too. Something that's helped me deal with this and put me in a position to show up, even though I don't have my life together, is really looking at my life in different sections, right? So, I look at it like it's like a pie chart, right? So there's all these different slices of the pie. So there's my business, there's my personal relationships, there's my health, my self-love, there's all these different categories in terms of life, right? And I know that when it comes to the piece of the pie, the small piece of the pie that I really own, that I feel it's my thing and I've got this and it's the strongest one, that is that's my ability to be an entrepreneur and show up and do that. But that's a sliver of the pie. All these other sections of my life, I need work, I need help, I need coaching, they're not as strong for me as that one sliver. So looking and understanding that and being humble about that and seeking help in those areas, that gives me permission to say, this is my thing. This one sliver, I'm not teaching people how to live their life. I'm not saying I'm the best at everything. I don't have all of these figured out. I need help in all of these areas, but this one here, I got it. So that gives me permission to show up, and I know my sliver. And when I coach and when I'm talking, when I'm on a webinar, I share that. Like, I've built this awesome business. My challenge now is learning how to live in it. I have anxiety. I have this, I have that. The other areas of my life need work. I've sacrificed my health and my fitness. I'm trying to work on that again. So this gives me permission myself to show up, because I'm not perfect. And that's not something I ever want people to think I am. And that's really helped me to stay in my lane and to give myself permission to go 100% because I know that sliver is like, I'm confident in it.
That makes perfect sense. So basically own what you know you have together or you can do.
Yeah.
And then all the other areas that's messing with your mental, give yourself forgiveness or be easy on yourself and let you know that your work is work in progress.
Yeah, and it gives
Don't let it affect the thing that you own. Because it always do.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're talking or coaching or you're feeling like, who am I to do this? You're not coming from a place of, I know everything and I'm going to teach you how to live your life and invest in real estate and then do
I know this.
I know this thing and everything else. I need your help.
Got you.
And I think that brings us down to a level of, it's not they're here and they're looking at you like they're here. And when I run into people at conferences or run and they're, talk, I want to know what you're doing in real estate. I'm getting into real estate investment. So that puts me over here. You want to know what to do with your online stuff. So that puts us back here, right? So it's like everyone has something to give and whatever they have is just as valuable as what I have.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I've seen you pop up in the group and ask questions and I'm so impressed with what you're doing. Talk about I know we're about to wrap up, but I just want to know if you had to say something to someone who's maybe jumped into the Build Your Empire program or they're not, either way. So they want to do their own thing and they're feeling this imposter syndrome. They're feeling like, who am I to do this? They are overwhelmed with the tech because they're coming from an offline world. What would you say to them in terms of, the journey or what you would do different and how to jump in and get started?
I would say as far as because I think one of the biggest things, because I even hear it among some of my friends that want to get in this space, is like, oh, I need to be this guy or this person before I can do this. Yeah. What I just said, it's like, am I qualified? And what I've noticed, even in the real estate business, SJ, even in the real estate business, going to a seller's appointment, sitting in a living room with the seller right across from him, some sellers will work with you because it's you. Mm-hmm. The other investor can offer them more money and they still take your offer, and that also relates to this is because everyone is an expert in something and there's some people that's going to want to work with you or get the information from you because it's you. Yes. And when that clicked, I was like, wow. And it's only one you. I know it sounds like
no, I know. I try to say this all the time, and I'm always like, oh, cheesy. I know, but it's not.
It sounds cheesy.
People buy from people.
Yeah, it's vibes. So it's what's for you is for you. So I can go to a seller that's looking to sell their house. 3 investors can go there. We can all have the same offers, or maybe I can be the lowest offer, and they still work with me. And flip it around, it could be the same thing and they still work with the other guy. All right. And that's the same thing when you're an expert in something or more, because if you're a chapter ahead of somebody, they feel like you're an expert, and you can help them, you can provide value. And so when you're talking about this type of world, as far as coaching people or educating people, know that there's ways that you explain things. There's your life experiences that may match up with their life experiences. So your analogies may click better. It's just how you do things is for them.
I love it.
I don't know if that makes any sense. It
makes perfect sense.
I might be getting I might get too spiritual with it, but it's one of those things where it's like everybody has their own thing, their own way of communicating, their own flair, when you think it's a flair, it's not. There's their own energy and it matches up with some buyers.
and the
so
thing
you want to find the people that's for you.
Being in a scarcity mindset these days is the worst thing that we can do because people don't realize how many people are out there. Like the world is a big place, like billions of people on Facebook. We have access to billions of people with our smartphones. You don't need hundreds of thousands of people or followers to build a significant business. You don't, right? So the 85 people that are in your program that just had you have a $65,000 launch. That's a speck. Like that's a speck of the total amount of possible people that would be interested in what you're doing. Like that's a tiny, tiny amount of people that have to take action and subscribe to you and like you and look at you like, that's my guy, that's my girl. I like their style. I like how they're saying things, and I'm going to jump in, and that can give you, that builds you a huge business. So this idea.
Perfect example. You're not the only one that teaches this.
Yeah, no.
But it was a landslide. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. When I was looking into, people, I guess education or online marketing course, I mean, it was a landslide. I was like, that's if I invest into how to do this, I'm going with her.
Can I ask you why?
That's how it works. Because it wasn't you weren't so perfect and salesy. And some of it you can smell it from a mile down the road, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like I'm not one of those people that resent people that sells at all. I understand it, and everyone should be selling something, right? You got to eat, but it came across as laid back, like, hey, I know my stuff, so I don't have to I don't have to try to make myself sound perfect. That's the energy I got from you. It's just laid back, like this. It's not all, it's well branded, but it's you brand it so perfectly. It's just kind of like, this is my style. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, I get it, because that's intentionally because I went through my own learning curve with this whole thing, because I thought a business coach had to be the blazer wearing, and then it was really hard to do that because it wasn't me. And then when you're looking at your own stuff and there's a disconnect between how you're showing up, whether that's on your Instagram or whether that's in your pictures or your copy or your branding, if you don't feel like that's really you're going to have a hard time pushing it, because it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel real. And at some point early on, I just had to say, look, I am not perfect. Like my life is a hot mess. There's, a lot of things I don't know how to do, but this is what I do know. And I figured this out and I'm really good at it. And it brings me a lot of joy and happiness. And I want you to have it too. And when you can give yourself permission to show up, even though you don't have your entire life together, I find that an attractive quality from people. I find, vulnerability is attractive. So for anyone who's listening, like whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's, weight loss, whether it's real estate, whether it's business coaching, whatever it is you're selling, as long as you're clear that you know how to get people results with whatever it is you're coaching, as long as you're confident and clear, that's the only thing you need. Everything else can be upside down. Your business can be a mess. You can have a million broken links in your stuff. You can, it can be a mess. But as long as you're confident and clear with what you're selling and you stay in that lane, it doesn't have to be a lot of content. It's one single thing that you've got this. And then just give yourself permission to show up as you. And that is what I find to be the most attractive quality. Like when you started sharing how you have mindset blocks and it took you a while to get, that's where I'm like, wow, I like this guy, right? Because at the beginning, you build you up here, you have this huge launch, massive success, you've built this following. And then when I get to know you and I get to hear the other stuff, that's where I'm like this guy. Not that I didn't like you before, but you know what I mean? It humanizes us.
Right.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. Is there anything, where can people find you?
Instagram, YouTube.
What's your
Instagram is House Buying Brian.
House Buying Brian. I'm going to put that in the descriptions of everything. And your YouTube channel is?
Brian Iregbu, first and last name.
Okay, I'll put all the descriptions I'll put all the links in the description as well.
I'm very active on Instagram. YouTube, I need to get more active. See a lot of benefits from YouTube, and a lot of people come from YouTube. I just, I need to just post more videos. I got I don't know, 27.
30,000. I creeped you.
On YouTube?
Yeah, you're crushing it, man. You're crushing it.
I only got like 13 videos though. I need to post more
You're
videos.
crushing it. It's so fun when when the role reverses for me, because when I'm talking to someone, I'm always like, oh, I gotta do more, I gotta do better. And then when it's like, I creeped you before we jumped on this, and I'm like, look, this guy's amazing. And so anyone who's watching, you got to go creep him. And one, learn about real estate, because I'm personally interested in that. But two, like, look at what he's doing and the value he's providing. He just like had a first launch and crushed it, all from organic traffic, not spending anything on ads. So I've got a lot to learn from you. I'm so grateful that you took the time to jump on this call, and I'm gonna DM you now and send you a link to book a call, because I want to help you, really structure this, because that's my jam. Structure this program, figure out how to scale it, get you out of your head, because you deserve to be, like, this thing is gonna blow up, and I can just tell you're the coolest dude. So I'm excited to jump in and talk about strategy with you.
Thank you so much, SJ.
I'm so grateful for
you.
you.
What you're doing, and thank you for being, legit. You're helping a lot of people.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. And so are you.
All right.
I'll follow up with a message. Bye for now.
Thanks.
Bye.